coming near the end of the entertainment of this evening. Our next, we always conclude the evening every year with members of the local Comhaltas, Joe Callaghan branch. And tonight we have Sean Marshall, Jim McLaughlin, Noel Sweeney, Oliver Clavane and Phil Clark. So when they're getting ready to come out, I might as well say a few thank yous. I'd like to thank Paula here, the Director of Nursing in Our Lady's Manor, and Sister Dimna. Sister Dimna and I go back, I don't know whether I've lost the sound there, but Sister Dimna and I go back a long, long way. I see her up there. She was the nun in St. Mel's College when I was there, and she looked after the infirmary. And whenever you wanted to try and get off school classes, you'd have to go up to the infirmary and say you were sick. And one of the tricks they used to do was keep a mouthful of hot tea in your mouth, and then she put the thermometer in. But you could never fool Sister Dimna. So she runs a very tight ship here in the Manor. Afterwards, we have to be so careful that we don't leave any dust or specks around after us. But she's a great person here in Edgeworth. And she tells me that she's taken off to North Carolina. We don't ask a lady or a nun what her age is, but Sister Dimna is a great woman and a great sister. The house staff here. Privilege for us to be able to put on this celebration every year here in this house. And not alone that, but they have wonderful wall gardens out the back, which are run by the National Training Network or the Rehab. And we're allowed to bring visitors to enjoy the gardens and tell the stories behind them, and the wonderful stories that are behind them. So I'd like to thank them. To all the people who helped organise this weekend, we dreaded coming on top of us, and then it all seems to disappear in a flash. And then next week we'll sit down and we'll say we have to look at next year. And I see Mary Reynolds down there. Mary dips into the pocket to keep us going every year. It's very difficult to keep going every year. And next year is unbelievably our 25th year of the Mariah Edgeworth Literary Festival, which is a great achievement in hard times. I don't think we've missed any years. And on top of that, every year the prize winners come to collect their prizes. Tonight we've had 5 prize winners out of 6. And that's a great, they've come from Paris to be here in Edgeworthstown. And we don't have huge money in prizes, but I think Mariah Edgeworth Literary Prize is prestigious. Afterwards we've met people going back 20 years that have won the prize, and they use it in their bio, and they're very, very proud to be holders of a Mariah Edgeworth Literary Prize. When William Rowan Hamilton, who was president of the Royal Irish Academy, and at the time when he was president, it was mainly involved with science and technology, and he wanted to broaden the remit of the society to introduce literature to polite literature. And he turned to Mariah Edgeworth and he wrote to Mariah Edgeworth and he said, "How am I going to do this?" And she wrote back to him and she said that the best way to encourage literature and everything else is to run a competition and to give prizes. And so this is 2019. I think that was around the 1830s, 1840s. And she recommended that the first prize should be £50, which I think would equate to about 50,000. So I'm afraid when you open your envelopes, don't expect that. So again, to us this is a niche festival. We hear about all the festivals all over Ireland and everything else, but this is a niche festival, and people have come back and people have stayed in touch with us, and we seem to get to know everybody that's here. And there's a couple on the back row there who have been with us all weekend, who have travelled over from Melbourne in Australia for the day. So I'd just like to acknowledge them there in the back row. Creative Ireland and Creative Longford. And this year there's a new element. We have Longford Literary Month, and next weekend is celebration of Callaghan, and the bank holiday weekend we have a celebration of Oliver Goldsmith, who we claim some claim to because he got his early education here in Edgeworth Town and then went on to Trinity College. Before the Comhaltas group come on, and just to finish the thank yous, the staff here have put on some refreshments, so there's some light refreshments afterwards if you want to stay to chat for a few minutes afterwards. And tomorrow we have a costume tea party in the beautiful setting of the rectory. It's promised to be a beautiful day, so any time between 2 and 5 you can drop in for a cup of tea. Somebody stopped me on the street today and he said, "Are you Matt Carr, the historian? Can you tell me, do I have to wear a costume to this tomorrow, or can I go?" So you don't have to wear something, but it doesn't have to be a period costume. And then afterwards tonight, if anybody wants to, there's traditional music laid on in the Goldsmith up in the middle of the town, again appropriately named the Goldsmith. So as I said, I'd now like to conclude the evening with the Comhaltas group. So we're ready and all. I don't think we need a microphone, and I'll take this out of the way. So thank you very much.
This piece was very, very beautiful piece. It was composed by a Scottish piano recording player called Phil Cunningham. So again, I hope you enjoy it. Sean and Noel and Jim and Philip here and myself. I hope you enjoyed the rest of the evening.
That concludes the evening. I hope you enjoyed it and I hope to see all of these faces here again next year. Thank you very much.